All right, welcome on in, everyone, to another episode of First CSP, the channel dedicated to bringing you the first council shoulder patch issued from each council in Scouting America, both past and present. Today, we're going to take a look at Idaho Panhandle 110 out of Idaho. This council was originally created in 1928 as a name change from Shoshone Kootenai 110 and then existed up until 1992 when it was absorbed by Inland Northwest 611. Now, in more recent collecting guides, they will list the first issue as the T1, and then subsequent issues from the council actually were solidly embroidered, so S patches. However, if we go back a little bit, previous collecting guides did actually separate the T1 into A and B variations. We do have both of those to share with you today. So let's head on over to the patch table and take a look at Idaho Panhandle's T1A. T1A was defined by a brown border, light gold brown background, and that is the defining characteristic between A and B. Brown fleur-de-lis in the center, and brown letters. And that is going to be the first issue, T1A. It is a plastic backed patch. You will note when we look at the A and B next to each other, there is a difference, very slight, in the background color of the twill, as well as the browns that are used for embroidering the letters and the border. Slight differences. We also notice, I kind of notice in person, slight differences in the roundness of the edges for the shape of the CSP. Let's take a look here at the T1B. The T1B also listed with a brown border, brown background, brown fleur-de-lis, and brown letters. So the only difference in the descriptions in the previous collecting guides was they listed the T1A as a light golden brown background, and this one is listed as a brown background. So it can be a little confusing to try and parse the two, and if you're just looking at a photo of one, they do look very, very similar. So this is the T1B. Obviously, most helpful to compare these two, getting them both on the patch table. So let's do that now. As I noted before, you're going to find it's a bit darker brown for the lettering and the border on the T1A, and you get a lighter, kind of softer browns for the T1B. Again, I would almost dare to say that it doesn't come across as well on the camera screen right now. This T1A does have a slightly lighter, more golden type background than the T1B. They almost, in looking at the picture provided by the camera as I'm recording, look more similar than they quite do in person, but it doesn't translate as well. Again, that is the distinctive portion in the older collecting guides, which is saying the background was different. I find these browns next to each other are certainly more predictive, in my opinion, than the background color differences. But there is a slight background difference when you're looking at these in person. So that is the first issue for Idaho Panhandle 110. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode. Again, we debut a new episode highlighting a new Council Shoulder Patch first issue every single day. So we hope to see you back here tomorrow for another new episode. But until then, thank you all for stopping in, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.